Hi, I'm Stefan, the BMW DIY guy, and we're going to be installing a Dinan trunk badge today, and I want to show you why and how. All right, y'all, so today is almost more of a celebration than it is a DIY, more than anything else. I will show you installing the trunk badge, and you could use this video on how to reinstall your own badges if you're changing them or you're putting on black badges or whatever it is you wanted to do. But today is really a accumulation of a bucket list dream. I have been a fan of BMW and Dinan since I was about 10, and I've never imagined being able to own and drive a Dinan badge car and what that means. Now, we're gonna do a quick review of all the things that have gone into my car to get me to earn the badge today, and then we're gonna jump back and we're gonna install the badge. But this really is a big deal. Dinan is a fantastic aftermarket company that works with BMW very, very closely and puts out enhancement products throughout the entire car. So what I have in my car is really a very small set of what you can do and what you can get from Dinan. What you do is each one of their products has a set point value, and when you cross 10 points, you've earned the Dinan badge. So if you ever see a car with that badge on the trunk, there's no other way to get it. You can't buy it, you can't get it somewhere else. You have to earn it through all of the upgrades put into your car. So we're gonna give a quick review, then we're gonna jump back to the badge. But this really is a bucket list thing for me, and I couldn't be more excited. All right, so let's look under the hood really quick before we jump to the back. All right, so here under the hood, we can actually see 3 of the 5 projects that made up my earning the badge, getting my full 10 points. And they're just beautiful. So first of all, you can see the carbon strut brace. This replaces the less than ideal BMW OEM steel brace, and this looks so much better. You can see how this ties into the carbon fiber engine cover as well, which is very stylistic and different than the rather bland OEM, and then ties into the carbon fiber cold air intake here. And what I love about this whole set is how it all ties together. You get all of these pieces individually, and they look great individually, but you can see when you have them all, how all of these pieces all just integrate just beautifully through the whole engine bay to really make a comprehensive whole. Now, back underneath the cover here, I have the Dinan PCU. That is their new jump box, their power commander unit that I'm using to gain about 75 horsepower. I can definitely feel it. There's a jump of horsepower and torque, which is great. And then the one, of course, you cannot see are the brand new sway bars, front and rear. So make sure to check out the video on that. But they're gonna make a difference in handling and performance, especially as we add power with the PCU. So let's go ahead and jump back to the trunk. Let's get this install started. All right, so getting set up for the install is going to take longer than doing the job itself. But the first thing you absolutely want to do is make sure you have a very clean surface. So this is a little bit of glass cleaner that I have. I know it's going to take off any grease or residue, because we want to make sure that the letters stick down really, really well. Now, in my case, I've gone ahead and got the black letters. I really like those because that'll match my black M2. And it's going to go about right here. But what we're going to do before we do that is we want to measure the gap here on this side, not only along the bottom edge, but between the back edge of the 2 on this side and over. So we're going to do the same here. We're going to have the same gap between here and the lead edge of the letter and the bottom of this edge here. So we're going to get a tape measure and then use some masking tape to make sure all of our lines are straight, because the last thing you want to do is have a badge that's not straight. All right, so let me get my tape measure and we're going to lay this out. All right, so even if you don't have a tape measure, you can do it another way. So I'm going to take my painter's tape and run it right here along the bottom of my M2 badge, just like that. Now, since there's a little bit of overhang, I can take and I can mark where the overhang would be, just like that. So I walk along and I know that that is along that edge of where the trunk line is. Just like that. So if I can take this and put this on the other side. Now I've also measured, and this is about 20 centimeters from here to here. But I can use this without having to use any other tools necessarily. And I can use this as my guide, because I know that when I put this back along that edge, that my mark here has to go right along the edge of the trunk right there, as you can see. Okay? So I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to take tape, I'm going to measure, and I can mark on where it should be, and then I'm going to transfer both pieces of painter's tape over to the other side to use as my template of how to get this on straight. Okay, so you can see that my tape template is in place. Here's the lettering. Take it and kind of line it up. If you have one handy, and a tape measure works really well, but also if you have one handy, and I have a small little hand level, I can also lay this in here as well and look on how well my tape is to be relatively level. And it's pretty darn close. So when I get this leveled up against the top of the letters and the bottom of the letters against my tape, I'm off just ever so slightly enough that I can just make a very slight adjustment and it'll be set just like that. So at that point, what you're going to want to do is pull the backing off very, very carefully, because what you don't want to do is disturb the lettering or their spacing or pull them away from the top surface. But then once the backing is off, you can take it, line it up again very, very gently, try not to get any adherence, make sure it's exactly where you want it to be, and then press down firmly to get all the letters to press down into place. And then very, very carefully peel off the top layer away from the letters. All right, so let's give this a shot. All right, let's give this a shot here. So we're gonna very carefully peel away the back. Want it to come away from the letters really, really cleanly. Nice, just like that. Gonna take the top layer, get it lined up really nicely, and they are very, very sticky. So be careful. So I've got it lined up with my template. Make sure that the letters are not overlaying the tape at all. Just like that. All right. So, and then just press all the letters down. So it looks really good. I used my level again to check along this top edge and it came down really nice and straight. My spacing is right. Everything is good to go. So I've spent some extra time here just making sure each letter is stuck down really, really securely. Of course, worst case scenario, you could do it again. That would be a huge hassle. So you want to make sure that you do it right the very, very first time. All right, so then just very carefully peel this top layer away. I'm going to be super gentle as I go. I don't want to rush any of this. I want the letters to stay down really securely, which they should. The adhesive on the back is really stout, but you don't want any mistake here at this last edge. Just like that. Then you can peel your guide tape away. Oh man, this looks so good. This is honestly a bucket list thing for me come true. So, looks absolutely fantastic. You're all done. Good job. All right, all done. And like I said, this is more celebration than it is DIY. Man, this means so much to me. This has been a dream that I've always wanted to have. There's been a couple of times I almost bought a Dinan badge car used and did some other stuff. But walking towards it, going through this whole build project and culminating in putting on the Dinan badge is just a journey that really is a bucket list thing for me. And I hope you've shared this journey with me. I hope you check out the other Dinan installs that I have in my Earning the Badge series. They are a fantastic company. They were the original aftermarket performance brand for BMW and remain just such a fantastic option for truly amazing upgrades for your car. So make sure to check those out and everything else they offer, because there's a ton of things you can do. Thank you so much for Dinan for the partnership in this project. It has just meant the world to me. They have fantastic products and a great company, and make sure to check them out. While you're there, please make sure to click like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and it truly makes a difference to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.